and they had some issues. So they invited me to come and look at it. And I went there, and it is the reason why I'm a little late myself. So I plead with colleagues on the other side that we should stand down the issue of quorum so that we can conduct business. Our colleagues are coming in.
Yes, minority.
Hold on. Mr. Speaker,
yes.
I think I made a passionate appeal. My application is that both the majority leader and the deputy whip, their comments for me, even though you may take it as lightly,
I would accede to your request and ask the Hansard department to have those comments expunged from our record as if it does not exist. Yes, Speaker, Honorable Jara Champo, are you on your feet to address me?
No, he's not. No, he's counting. Speaker, on that score and the application made by the second deputy, I think I'm happy you have acceded to that request and also duly directed. So to that extent, we on this side will want to unreservedly withdraw the application related to quorum, and also to remind our supermajority that indeed you need us.
Honorable Anodonpe, if you want to withdraw that urgent, I'm inclined to direct the clerk to ring the table for 10 minutes.
Speaker, I'm your friend, but these days, the way you treat me, I'm your friend. Even today, I visited you in the office.
Yes, I'm treating you with a kid's groove.
Speaker, I'm saying that the reality is that they need us to do business. That is a fact. And so, I'm happy these comments have been withdrawn, but be reminded that you need the minority on any day to do business. And I'm hoping that they will appreciate this fact and that we can work together. Leader, that's all I want to say. Withdraw which one? So, Speaker, the application made in respect of Article 102 and then Order 64.
Do we say that the application is odious in view of the numbers at the chamber?
Speaker, no. We withdrew it before they got their numbers. So it's withdrawn. Speaker, it is withdrawn. It is withdrawn. I see the whip actively getting the numbers, but we have withdrawn the application already. The application has been withdrawn already. The man says he won't fight again. So who am I going to fight? Speaker, it is duly withdrawn.
But you are not the applicant per the rules.
Speaker, we work in tandem. We work in tandem.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, just like my chief whip said, based on the appeal of the majority leader, and I could see that ministers are leaving their ministries to come to the chamber. The finance minister is here, the energy minister is here, the road minister is here, the attorney general is here. So Mr. Speaker, is withdrawn. Since they have started coming, the majority leader have appealed to us to withdraw. So we can proceed, Mr. Speaker.
But is it not true that the application is taken over by the numbers currently at the chamber?
Mr. Speaker, we have withdrawn the application. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, majority leader, application withdrawn, or the application is struck out as withdrawn. Majority leader, any indication? Honourable members, order. Honourable members, let's do item numbered 5, correction of votes and proceedings, of Wednesday, the 4th February 2026. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7, Page 8. Yes, Honorable Asamoah.
Honorable Speaker, I'd like to seek your guidance. Page 8C, a delegation from the Korean Industrial Center from South Korea. Mr. Speaker, if the table office can double check, because there are a couple of the South Korean industrial centers, as to which one that visited us, if there can be some clarification and specify.
Well, the vote, correction of votes and proceedings has to do with not capturing what happened on the floor of the House. The communication that came, that was how it was captured. There was no differentiation. So whatever is at page 8 of the vote and proceedings was the correct position of what transpired in the House. I read the communication and I can vividly recall that that was how it was captured. So whatever is here depicts what exactly happened on the floor of the House yesterday. Page 9. Yes, Honorable Kinsley Nyako.
Mr. Speaker, with respect on page 9, item 8, statements. Paragraph B. The Honorable Member for Bawka South, Dr. Kinsley Ajaman. The Ajaman here ends with N. If you look at the other paper for yesterday, it had the same spelling, but on his name, on his console, there's a G. There's a G. So I don't know whether this is correct or what is captured in the votes, and yesterday's other paper is the right one. So if
is the Honorable Member in the House?
But on his console, it is G. It ends with G. So
yes, you indicated that was the way it was captured on the other paper for yesterday.
Yes.
So I'm trying to find out from the Honorable Member whether what is on the console is wrong or what is in the other paper is wrong.
Yeah, you are right. So we need to.
So table office, take note and take it up with the Honorable Member.
Mr. Speaker, I'm told that in the votes, his name, it has a G, but we can still check.
Very well. Table office should cross check. Page 10. Yes, Honorable Frank Afriye.
Sorry. Yeah.
Speaker, thank you so much. Speaker, with respect, let me crave your indulgence and take you to page 8. I was on my feet, but you couldn't see me. Page 8, item 6, line 4. The President traveled on Saturday, 1st February 2026. Per the calendar, something fundamentally should be wrong with that date. 1st February should be Sunday, but if indeed the President traveled on Saturday, then that should be 31st January instead. And Speaker, if you kindly indulge me once again, on page 1 is the minutes of the first sitting of the first meeting. It should instead be second sitting of the first meeting. Thank you very much. That's page 1.
Kindly take notes. We then move to page 10, page 11. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, just a minor observation I've made on page 10. Item 9, presentation of papers, Roman numeral IV, Ghana National Action Plan on Business and Human Rights. If you look at the other paper, it had the same caption, Ghana National Action Plan on Business and Human Rights. I suspect it should be human rights, but I'm just seeking your guidance whether the human rights is correct or it should be human rights. Thank you.
Well, table office, kindly take notes. Page 12. Page 13. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, on page 12, Under supplement, business statement. Sorry, page 13, business statement opening. The committee met on Wednesday, 3rd February. Yesterday was Wednesday, and I think it was 4th. Today is Thursday, 5th. So I'm thinking the Tuesday, it should be Tuesday.
Table office, cross-check the correct dates as well as the
it should be
day.
Tuesday, 3rd. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Page 14. Yes, Honorable Frank Afriye.
Speaker, thank you so much. Page 14, item 2X, that's Roman numeral 10. May I propose that we delete the word after Mr. and insert Michael before Kwesi Edu. The attempt to write Michael was wrongly spelled. Thank you.
Table office, kindly take note. Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Page 15. Yes, Honorable Kinsley Nyako.
Speaker, I need you to, I may be wrong, but I need your guidance on this. On page 14, Committee on Youth and Sports, the stadia that were visited, the third one is Accra Sports Stadium. And I thought it used to be Ohenijan Sports Stadium. I don't know whether, because Kumasi is now Baba Yara, I remember, but I don't know whether there was a mistake or it was changed. It was changed again. It was changed again. Now Accra Sports Stadium from Ohenijan.
So, table office, kindly check the correct name.
Okay.
Whether it's Accra Sports Stadium or Baba Yara Sports Stadium.
Ohenijan.
Or it's Ohenijan Sports Stadium. So, table office, cross-check. Other members, any correction on page 15?
Speaker, just a minor one. Item 3. Mr. Horin Kwashiga, his designation is Deputy Director, but the right rendition of the ministry is Ministry of Sports and Recreation. The S in front of sport has been omitted. Thank you.
Table office, take note and cross-check. Honourable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the vote and proceedings of Wednesday, 4th February 2026. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On page 15, item 2, my name, Michael, they spelled it M-I-C-H-E-A-L.
But same has been corrected.
No, it should be A-E-L.
I'm saying that same has been corrected by Frank Afriye.
He said something different from what I'm saying.
Is it not the correction of the same name?
Yes.
Correction of the same name?
No, he was talking about the Mr., but then I'm talking about the
He said after Mr., we should correct the name Michael. That was what I have heard.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Oh, Frank Afriye, your correction was that after Mr., we do the correction.
Exactly so, Speaker.
Same had already been done. Honourable members, the vote and proceedings of Wednesday, 4 February 2026 as corrected is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. Honourable members, the official report of Tuesday, 16th December 2025. For your correction, yes, Honourable Professor Kinsley Nyako.
Yes, Speaker, on the front cover, under papers, I see reports of the Committee on Economy and Development on the Bank of Ghana Amendment Bill 2026. That bill was considered last year, so I'm not sure whether...
You are right, it's 2025.
Then you go to column 12 for another consequential correction, because we go to column 12, it still has 2026.
You are right, consequentially, same should be corrected.
Thank you.
Honourable members, any further correction? In the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of 16th December 2026 as corrected is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. Yes, Majority Leader, any indication?
Mr. Speaker, if I could apply to vary the order of business so that we will take item number 13, that is the consideration stage of the Legal Education Reform Bill. I intend to make an application to you to refer the amendments to the...
Well, your application, I will subject it to the minority view. Then when we are at the consideration stage, then you make the application.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Speaker, the leader
The application is to take item number 13.
Yes.
At page 3 of today's order paper.
Speaker, we are not opposed.
Thank you very much. Legal Education Reform Bill 2025 at consideration stage. Yes, Majority Leader, we can now take your application.
That is so, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, given the number of amendments proposed, about 72 of them, I will apply that you refer the amendments to the winnowing committee so that they can look at it and then report back to the House.
Yes, the application is to refer the numerous amendment to the winnowing committee.
Speaker, it's understandable and it's a popular call, so we are not objecting.
Honourable members, the application is accordingly granted. The Legal Education Reform Bill 2025 is referred to the winnowing committee. Honourable members, I urge upon the winnowing committee to take a second look at the amendments and probably do the needful, do the integration, and bring the refined bill to the House for consideration. I so direct. Yes. Yes, let the maize be tilted. Yes, Majority Leader.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I also will apply for variation of order of business so that we can take item number 19, which is the the second reading of the 24-hour economy authority bill.
Yes, the application is to take item number 19 at page 14 of today's order paper.
Speaker, with respect, we are not objecting, but just to remind leader that item 9, if you may reference, item 9 has been on the order paper for some time. And today I saw the Honorable Collins Dowda here. Again, item 12, the House Committee report, the chair of the House Committee, the respected Whip, is also here. I don't know if it is part of the plan to take this report or they will have to reschedule it tomorrow. But we are not objecting to, I think, second consideration of the 24-hour economy. We are not objecting to it. we can go ahead and take item 19. I'm only worried about the 9 and 12 that have been lying for a long time.
Very well, that is a legitimate concern. But let's first of all take the item numbered 19. That's motion 19, the Attorney General and Minister for Justice. You may now move. You may now move first the procedural motion numbered 18. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, my recollection is that the motion was advertised yesterday. It was advertised yesterday. So, okay. So we still need to move for abridgment of time. Or it is 2 days at least, yeah.
Because the rules now says 3 sitting days. Yeah, so Attorney General, you may move motion number 18 first.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that notwithstanding the provision of Order 104(1) of the Standing Orders, which requires that a motion shall not be debated until at least 2 sitting days have elapsed after the notice, to move the motion is given that the motion for the second reading of the 24-hour Economy Authority Bill 2025 be now moved today. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, procedural motion number 18 ably moved. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion.
Honourable members, yes.
Mr. Speaker, sorry for taking you back to item 13. Mr. Speaker, the legal
Honourable member, the motion on the floor is motion numbered 18.
I thought that has been seconded.
Honourable members, motion moved and seconded. It is for the consideration of the House. This being a procedural motion, I will put a question. The question is, as many as are in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The motion is accordingly adopted. Now, consequential motion numbered 19, Attorney General and Minister for Justice.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the 24-hour Economy Authority Bill 2025 be now read a second time. I so move.
Honourable members, motion ably move. On this note, I will call on the chairman of the committee to present the committee's report.
Mr. Speaker, I'm exceedingly grateful for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I present to you the committee's report on 24-hour economy. Mr. Speaker, on 24-hour Economy Authority Bill was laid in Parliament by the Deputy Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Dr. Justice Tremsai, on Wednesday, 3rd December 2025, in accordance with Article 1061 of the 1992 Constitution. Pursuant to Article 104 and Order 238 of the Standing Orders of Parliament, the Right Honourable Speaker referred the bill to the Committee on Constitutional and Legal Affairs for consideration and report to plenary. Mr. Speaker, I encourage the Hansard Department to capture the entire report while I go straight to the conclusion. Mr. Speaker, the committee in conclusion concludes that the 24-hour economy and the accelerated export development program provides a comprehensive framework to strengthen Ghana's productive capacity, reduce trade imbalances, and enhance export competitiveness. Anchored on production systems, supply chain market development, and labor development, the program's private sector-driven approach, supported by public facilitation and diversified financing, is both pragmatic and necessary.
The committee further notes that the program focuses on job creation, skills development, and fostering a culture of productivity is clinical for the sustainable economic transformation. The establishment of the 24-hour economy is essential for the effective coordination and long-term implementation. Consequently, Mr. Speaker, the committee recommends that this House adopts its report and pass the 24-hour Economy Authority Bill 2025 in accordance with Article 106 of the 1992 Constitution. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mahama Shaibu. Honorable members, motion for the second reading of the 24-hour Economy Authority Bill 2025 has been ably moved by the Attorney General. The report of the committee on the bill has been presented by the chairman of the committee. Honorable members, pursuant to Standing Order 127, a full debate shall arise on the principles of the bill on the basis of the explanatory memorandum and the report of the committee. Honorable members, the floor is accordingly open. Yes, Honorable Buama.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on the report on the 24-hour economy. Mr. Speaker, the 24-hour economy is a campaign promise made by the NDC during the 2024 election campaign. Come 2025, Mr. Speaker, there were lots of concerns about the implementation of this particular policy. On the part of the minority, calls were made for government to submit a policy paper that directs us as to the real ways in which the 24-hour economy is going to be implemented. It's interesting that 1 year down the line, we have now received what the policy and the bill that is supposed to promote the 24-hour economy. Mr. Speaker, having looked at the report of the committee, a lot of teething and interesting questions arise. First and foremost, the recommendation is to establish an authority to govern the 24-hour economy. And the question is, what is the rationale and the basis for establishing an authority to oversee the 24-hour economy policy? Mr. Speaker, establishing authorities are not just for one policy statement implementation. Authorities are supposed to be established with main purposes of running a particular program or particular agenda over a period of time. Now, the 24-hour economy that is going to establish this authority, the question is, what is the authority supposed to do? Mr. Speaker, if you look at the report that was submitted, it talks about 3 pillars. Pillar 1, according to the report, focuses on production system. Pillar 2 deals with development of supply chain, and Pillar 3 on labor development. These are all areas that are already being dealt with by either the Ministry of Trade and Industry, you have the Ministry of Labor and the Youth Employment, or the Youth Ministry. And so you ask yourself, why are we duplicating the functions of these ministries with the creation of an authority? We all know the expenditure or the expenses that comes to establishment of authority. We have seen in this house, we've created Ghana Medical Trust Authority, sports, and so many authorities have been created over the past 1 year. But this particular 24-hour economy authority that is being proposed, Mr. Speaker, I find it very challenging because it is going to complicate the works that are and duplicate the works that are already being done by the Ministry of Trade and the Youth Employment or the Youth Ministry for Youth. So, Mr. Speaker, the Secretariat, according to the report, is supposed to also mobilize capital through the banking sector to finance critical value chains under the program. Why would the authority that is supposed to be established be given mandate to mobilize capital to finance critical value chain under the program? I find it also very alarming and interesting because as we speak, the funding or the financing of government projects is at the behest of the Ministry of Finance. And so it is very problematic once again the direction in which this particular 24-hour economy is being looked at. Mr. Speaker, if you look at development of human capital again as the report raised, it says that it is going to be anchored on job creation, which is supposed to be done by TVET and STEM to develop the skills. TVET and STEM are already established institutions and they already have their drawn programs. So why are we creating another 24-hour economy authority that is supposed to use the same TVET already established, the STEM program, to develop skills? This is already there. And so for me, Mr. Speaker, if not for purposes of achieving a political gain or objective, or trying to play to the public gallery that for whatever reason the 24-hour economy bill has been passed or a policy document has been submitted, the entirety of this particular 24-hour economy is already being done in Ghana by different sectors of the ministries, departments, and agencies. And so it's a duplication role, and we are going to take taxpayers' money that can be used for other developmental objectives of this country, is going to be used to establish an authority, is going to be used to pay for CEOs, it is going to be used to pay for board members, it is going to be used to pay for other officers who already we have the framework in terms of our government architecture to deliver on this particular mandate. We are not, it's a policy or it's a campaign promise. It is for the government to deliver and redeem it. So nobody would have the grounds for you to do it. But to channel other purposes or vehicles like an authority and use taxpayers' money that can be used to develop other essential parts of this economy just to establish an authority for this purpose, I find it very unnecessary, Mr. Speaker. To end, Mr. Speaker, the document that we are being looked at, or the report, never spoke about the 1-3-3 shift. The document never spoke or gave direction that the 24-hour economy is going to run the shift, whereby various particular specific areas are going to run 8-hour shifts. It's one particular job is going to create 3 jobs. That particular promise that they gave within the 24-hour economy is missing in the document or the report that is being provided before us. And so, Mr. Speaker, to end, I am of the humble opinion and view that the 24-hour economy, yes, the report is before us. I don't see any reason why we should use taxpayers' money to establish another authority to burden the taxpayer in paying for CEOs and board members whose functions already are being handled by various ministries, departments, and agencies. And so, Mr. Speaker, without more, I will say that yes, the government is running away from its own shadows, and now the chicken has come home to roost. So they should go ahead and do the 24 hours, but they shouldn't burden taxpayers by establishing an authority to run it. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Our members are not to take part in the debate, but I'll ask a rhetorical question. We have Ministry of Agri. Well, very well. I'm asked not to ask the question. I'll give the floor to Honorable Adongo.
Mr. Speaker, those who started asking the question from day one, where is the 24-hour economy, are today praying that this bill never happened. Mr. Speaker, this authority is a law. I don't know whether somebody wants us to legislate in the law 133. I mean, I'm just struggling to understand how a lawyer will be expecting that we should put in the law that a 24-hour economy should be a 133. Certainly that beats my imagination. There are different variants of 24-hour operations. One can decide to do 122, one can decide to do 133, but that doesn't mean that it is still not a 24-hour economy. So, at the end of the day, please, I listen to you in silence. Why are you jittery? Why are you jittery? We have just started and you are already struggling. Just keep quiet and listen. Mr. Speaker, we were in this country where we were already building schools, but we still set up a law, an authority that was set up as the GET Fund. Was it because we were not building schools? We were in this country when our district assemblies were developing our communities, but we came here and set up development authorities. Were we not building toilets that you were building with authorities? So what do you mean by the fact that an activity is already being done? If you want to undertake a policy that is intersectorial, you need a coordinating mechanism to ensure that all the agencies that are participating in implementing that authority or that activity work together and get coordinated. That is what this authority is going to do. Because when we say 24-hour economy, 24-hour economy is not the same as agriculture. It is not the same as industry. It is a mainstreaming activity that you find almost in every sphere of life. So you find 24-hour economy in agriculture, you find it in industry, and you find it in services. As a result of that, you need to coordinate all those activities that you need to create the enabling environment for those agencies and institutions to be able to implement 24-hour economy. And that is what we are going to do, and you are beginning to shiver because somehow you thought that 24-hour economy was going to be your Ghana Beyond Aid. That never had a You thought that 24-hour economy was going to be like your free senior high school that never had a policy. You are trying to think that 24-hour economy was going to operate like your one district, one factory that never had a policy. Your digitalization that never had a policy. Today, we are walking the talk. Today, we are implementing a policy backed by a coordinating mechanism that will ensure and that the bill itself has a memorandum which explains what the government wants to do, and if you are minded, you will go and read it. Mr. Speaker, what this 24-hour economy and the authority is thinking of doing is to ensure that we create an environment that allows the private sector to take the commanding height in the implementation of this 24-hour economy. We want to make sure that at this time, when the government has already set the environment that promotes business. Interest rates are dropping like you have never seen before. Inflation is all over the place, and exchange rate today is something that you dreamt for 1,000 years and you can never do it. So this is the time. This is the time that businessmen have confidence in the economy. This is the time that businessmen can raise money at a cheaper cost to implement 24-hour economy. This is the time that it is cheaper to import capital equipment from abroad because the exchange rate is lower. Mr. Speaker, at this point in time, it is very clear that my colleagues do not understand when 24-hour economy authority is talking about human capital development. It doesn't mean that we don't have education in Ghana and that we are now going to set up STEM. What it simply means is that you must work with industry to ensure that our training institutions bring out the caliber of human resources that we need. And STEM is one of the key drivers of that agenda. And that doesn't mean that we are implementing STEM because there was no STEM. It doesn't mean that when we talk about science, it doesn't mean that we don't have science education already. But we are trying to make sure that science education is utilized to implement the 24-hour economy. And Mr. Speaker, it is important for people to read and not express ignorance when they haven't read the matters that we are discussing here. Mr. Speaker, it is also very clear. It is also very clear that by the time we finish passing this bill, we would have an enduring coordinating mechanism that will plan, that will organize, and that will make sure that the funding of 24-hour economy is provided to achieve the objectives for which His Excellency promised the people of Ghana. His Excellency promised big push. He has delivered it. He promised to reset the economy. He has reset and fixed your mess. Mr. Speaker, he promised a 24-hour economy, and he is here with a bill to set our authority to implement the 24-hour economy. Mr. Speaker, what else do you want? Mr. Speaker, what else do you want? We don't expect you to be happy because this will keep you in opposition for the next 20 years. And it is the reason you are scared. Mr. Speaker, at the end of the day, Ubwa is roaming in Kumasi. Mr. Speaker, the Accelerated Export Development Program is meant to ensure that even as we are using gold to create the forest that we need, and we are processing gold with refineries, we are also making sure that 24-hour economy deliver the volumes that we need in order to export and generate the resources to fund this economy. Mr. Speaker, 24-hour economy has come to stay. 24-hour economy will develop an authority. And Mr. Speaker, in the wildest dream that NPP ever came back, I will not be surprised that my good friend will be lobbying to become the chief executive of that authority. And yet today he is here pretending that he's against it. He's pretending. Mr. Speaker, I now understand why they wanted to raise Koro. They knew what was coming. Mr. Speaker, when we were talking, I was quiet. You see, if you cannot fight them, you simply join us. We have more seats. Come and join us. It is not about shouting. It's about listening to me and listening to wisdom. That is what I did when I was listening to you. It's the reason I noticed that you didn't read the memorandum. If I hadn't listened to you, I wouldn't have known that you were speaking out of ignorance. So listen to me and learn something meaningful so that we can improve this bill. Mr. Speaker, I want to encourage my colleagues that they should be counted. They should rise and support this bill so that we deliver 24-hour economy, we improve their constituents, we give their constituents jobs so that at the end of the day, when they receive calls from their constituents for jobs, they will not be run away because 24-hour economy will assist them deliver those jobs to the people. Mr. Speaker, on these viewers, I would like to thank my colleagues, but also to thank His Excellency the President for keeping faith with the people of Ghana, for not living like others who promised and never came to this house. He is here to make sure that the people of Ghana knows what he is talking about and to deliver a program that will develop this country as he has developed, just like we found with the gold board. They were against gold board and walked out. In the end, gold board is saving Ghana. We are hoping that you don't walk out on this one. Please don't walk out on this 24-hour bill like you did to gold board, because this will be a game changer. And we know you like to walk out. So, my honorable colleague, please don't walk out. I can see him wearing his glasses. When we bring this bill, don't walk out, because this will save us. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.
Yes, Honorable Stephen Amo.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for this opportunity, and I thank those who are trying to, in attempt to fulfill most of the campaign promises that were not preceded with any research, collected data with any integrity, but just for people to think they said and they are doing it, even though they are dysfunctional to the performance of our republic, making an attempt in a way. But Mr. Speaker, I was thinking it is time we dealt away with some of these policy cliches that have not helped us as a country. The question I always ask is, are we sure that we only just want to be in power or come to power because to some of us, either as individuals or as groups, it is all about enterprising, making money, having power, and flexing up and showing our shoulders and bare chest to the public. I think we need to deal away with this. I use the word you asked me to retract, so I'll use it again. These dysfunctional strategic positions that have been very drift to us. Mr. Speaker, the object of the bill, I want to read it again, if you permit me. The object of the bill is to establish the 24-hour economy authority to ensure the integrated sustainable transformation of national systems for economic production, supply chain, marketing, and labor power development, and to provide for related matters. Mr. Speaker, I want to ask them, what do they mean by 24-hour economy? Mr. Speaker, it entails business operations, public services, agriculture, running these areas continuously 24/7 across day and night. From what my brothers were coming from and the emphasis we were placing on all these policies was that they wanted us to operate a shift program that will offer jobs to the masses, to Ghanaians, and also build our economy sustainably and attain the long-term economic growth and stability. And if you read all these, when it comes to the public service, security, health, we are already running 24-hour economy. We are running shift. So their emphasis was on the economic development. Building factories, manufacturing factories that will employ thousands of Ghanaians, run 8-hour shift 3 times a day or 3 phases. What have they done so far to attain that goal? Mr. Speaker, this is a strategic drift. It is impossible. It's just a fallacy. It's not going to work anyway. In the first place, they should give us an idea, a picture of a manufacturing framework that they have researched and appraised for us to believe in this policy. We live in this country. I'm not wishing them bad. If it's good, it's for this country. But I am telling you, Mr. Speaker, and the entire Ghanaian community, it is not something they've thought through. I'm not saying it's not a good thing. Mr. Speaker, the 24-hour economy my brothers from the NDC side are talking about, they have no idea about what they want to do. I'm being honest with you. If you go to most of the developed economies,
When they are talking about 24-hour economy, go to China, go to the European countries, go to Latin America, go to Northern Americans. You see manufacturing industries. The ecosystem is so effective and efficient that thousands of young people from that country are working. Is that what they want to tell us? Mr. Speaker, this whole political gimmicks and propaganda to deceive voters, I think we should have a new paradigm shift. We need to redefine our corporate focus as a country and the reasons why we are in politics. We should be getting tired of some of these propaganda, communist inferior tactics, machineries that they are dishing out to the people. Mr. Speaker, then you have to come to another issue that I'm surprised. Once again, they want to do this to help build a very productive economic framework. Are you dealing with our dwindling fiscal space, our policy framework? We run a negative effective tax rate economy. We run a debt-inclined economy. And one of the reasons is that we are not able to control our expenditures effectively. We are not dealing with the correlation that we need between our expenditures control and our GDP growth. We have a lot of institutions that are already overlapping, that are already duplicated in terms of functions and structures. We already have all of them. Why are they trying to set up another one? Are we not tired of abusing and misusing state resources in the name of politics and creating jobs for the boys? Is it what we want to do for Ghanaians? The young people out there, look at them. Only a few of them even get job to do. Why are we continuing this recycling unfortunate inimical policies that are destroying this country? Mr. Speaker, I am surprised that my brother Adongo and my chairman, he is talking about interest rate inflation and other things. Today, Mr. Speaker, I want us to invite any professor in this world to come. We are tired of this propaganda. What has the NDC done for the past 12 years? 12 months. 12 months, sorry. What have you done? It is in this house, Mr. Speaker, it is in this house that my own brother, Dr. Atufosin, came and read their own budget. And they stated all the primary macro indicators in this house. GDP was growing 5.6% before you took over. Inflation had been reduced from 54.1 to 22.9 before you took over. Primary balance, reserve, everything. We are running a defensive sector economy. If you don't understand what is called a defensive economic market sector, I'm explaining to you today. The systematic risk index of our market is far less than 1. So there's a lag period. Ghanaians are enjoying what MPP government did. Stop lying to them. Can you calculate any of your contributions as a percentage of our GDP today? Tell us. We are tired of lies and the deception and the propaganda. That's right. I am not blaming you, you've not done anything. You are building your first year. You are doing rearrangement, calibration, and configuration. We agree. But you haven't done anything. That's right. NDC government has not done anything yet. Right. We are here to feel the impact of anything you are going to do. Stop lying to Ghanaians. What have you added to the economy? Tell me. What have you added? Mr. Speaker, by December...
Stephen Amo,
3 minutes.
Withdraw the word stop lying.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Speaker. I've done that. Mr. Speaker, I've withdrawn. So you are deceiving us. Mr. Speaker, they talk about exchange rate. What are the primary macro indicators? When it comes to our independent, so what are the independent factors or variables of exchange rate currency performance? One is this to supply and demand. By December and January, when they took over, we had gotten over $1 billion in account because we domesticated cocoa syndication. First time in the history of this country. I stand to be corrected. Because we have had free and fair, peaceful election that have rebuilt and restored the confidence of investors. Because American government had entered into trade war with the Asian partners. Now you are talking as if you've done anything. We don't even know the amount of dollars being circulated in our system. Do you know we have 3 different rates. We have Bank of Ghana rates, we have Forest Bureau rates, we have black market rates, and you are going about lying and behaving like we are in control of our economy. You are sorry, you are misleading. Mr. Speaker, look at this chamber. Respectfully, look at yourself, look at me, your spectacles and mine, what they are wearing. Everything here, we imported them. Who has control over the exchange rate? You are only enjoying what you took over. You have not done anything yet. I'm not blaming you. Ghanaians should begin to praise us, except that the impact that they felt late. You would have lost the election. Stop doing propaganda. You are talking about 24-hour economy. You see, Mr. Speaker, our brothers from the NDC are constantly engaged in the use of communist inferior tactics as a political tool. I am telling you today, this whole thing about 24-hour economy is got no substance. It's a sham. It doesn't do us any good. It is propaganda. It's not going to give any results. It is cost 90. It's deceiving the ordinary Ghanaian. It has no future. That's right. Now you're talking about it has come to stay. Stay where? A policy is not a matter of the policy staying. It's about the results. Whether it's going to provide the needed incentives we need as a country, as a sovereignty. That's right. If you have a child that has been 100 years and never offered the society anything and was drug addict, and you are spending on him and it's a liability to the state, is that what you want? I rather prefer a child that will be 40-year-old, but the child can offer our society and our country something that we can say the child is an asset. You don't develop a liability for Ghanaians. The fact of the matter is that they never thought through 24-hour economy. They never conducted any research. They don't have any data backing it. They don't know the future of 24-hour economy. In any case, there was a time that I asked 22 of them. They couldn't even define. All of them were giving different definitions. How could one policy, multi-dimensional definitions, stop deceiving Ghanaians? Mr. Speaker, trying to conclude on what I'm saying, I'm asking my brothers from the NDC and the government to go and rethink, because this document, Mr. Speaker, contains nothing. It's like medicine without a potent medicinal element. It's like taking water when you have infection. It's nothing. That's right. So, Mr. Speaker, all that I want to say is that they should withdraw all these things, go back. They don't have to abuse the fact that they have numbers. They don't have to abuse the fact that they can pass anything they want. Posterity will ask them. The next generation will ask them, what did you use your numbers to do? Because you have power. This 24-hour economy, even though it's not a bad policy, they are not prepared. It has nothing good to offer us. There's nothing in it. It is empty. The authority they want to have, it hasn't got even where you should think of authority. That's right. I'm surprised. Why are you jumping the gun? Because you have numbers. What is the ulterior motive behind this? Mr. Speaker, I would like to end here, but I'm advising them, if they take my advice, one day, Mr. Speaker, allow me to speak to you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity.
Yes, I will give the floor to Honorable Kwame Agbojan.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the motion regarding the 24-hour economy bill 2025. Mr. Speaker, I was looking for my very good friend Speaker to congratulate him for the vigorous campaign he mounted in defense of his candidate towards the NPP parliamentary presidential elections. I also want you to take the result you got in good faith. But did I hear you say that we don't even understand what we are doing? Honorable Speaker, it appears your constituent also didn't even know what you were talking about, because your candidate lost in your constituency. So Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, it appears all the dancing, all the vigorous campaign, your constituents alone didn't even understand what you were talking about. So they voted against your candidate. Mr. Speaker, I heard my colleagues, sometimes I agree with them when they say that as political actors, we should be principled. And it's very important so that the country doesn't think that anytime we do things, we don't think deeply about it. But Mr. Honorable Speaker, in fact, at the point, recently I heard you arguing that you were supposed to occupy a position, but they didn't give it to you. Hold on. Oh, what is wrong with you? Mr. Speaker, oh, I'm coming to the policy. Oh, just sit down. I'm coming to the policy. Yes. Wait, I'm coming to the policy. Oh, wait.
All of you, resume your seats.
Yes.
Honorable Abuja. Honorable Kwame Abuja. Just hold it. All of you, resume your seats. Honorable members, let me indicate that we've all spent more than a year. We need to conduct business within the rules. If you have something to say, catch the eye of the speaker. You will be called to raise your issue. It is disorderly to just get up and be shouting. That is not the way it is done. Honorable Kwame Abuja, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I heard my colleagues from the other side talk about no need to set up the 24-hour economy authority. The same people who found it necessary, despite the fact that we had Ghana Education Trust Fund, Ministry of Education, and yet set up development authorities to build 6 unique classrooms. When Adaplo Assembly was already building KVIPs, you gave that right to another authority called the Middle Belt Authority. Indeed, that is not what we are doing. Honorable Speaker, you did not actually understand the definition of what 24-hour economy is. And let me give you, Honorable Speaker, sit down. Do you have a copy of the bill? Don't go. I'm asking you, if you have a copy of the bill, let me take you to. Now you run away. Let me take you to. Okay, very good. He's now asking me to tell him what 24-hour economy is. Honorable Speaker, let's take to page 12. Honorable Speaker. Honorable
Stephen Namwa, we listen to you in silence. It is true that in your submission, you say they do not know what 24-hour economy is. You ask 4 people and they give you different definition. So he is on that point that you have raised. Okay. So let's listen to him.
Honorable Speaker, sit down. When you were speaking, I was here. Don't go there. Sit down. On page 12 of the bill itself, it says, under interpretations, 24-hour economy and accelerated development program means a cross-sectorial economic development program that seeks to modernize, reorganize, and restructure the productive sectors of the economy to achieve, amongst other things, and the listed these things. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, he obviously did not read this, so he put those things out. Mr. Speaker, I read the bill and I read the memorandum. It is a very good thing, Mr. Speaker, and that is why I was at least he said something that in his view the policy is not wrong, but in his view it is good policy, but he thinks that we do not know what we are doing. At least he knows that the policy is good. And this is why I'm coming to tell him one of the good things about the policy. Mr. Speaker, the 24-hour economy policy is not a project where you have a short-cutting, where you have an office set up and then there will be things like the budget you talk about. It's about coordination. Once you see the definition of this, you understand what it means. Mr. Speaker, I also hear him saying that what we promised was to have entities running 24 hours, and he's not sure if any private enterprise is doing that. Mr. Speaker, the 24-hour economy is already in motion. Mr. Speaker, the object of the bill, let me read paragraph 5. The object of the bill is to establish a 24-hour economy authority to ensure the integration, sustainable transformation of national system for economic production, supply chain, market and labor power development, and to provide related matters. Mr. Speaker, for you to have a clear synergy between the supply chain, you need good roads in this country. The whole point of the big push is to serve as a catalyst to address these things. So the 24-hour economy is not yet coming. It is already here being implemented. And Mr. Speaker, let me tell you this. There are contractors working under the big push who are currently working 24 hours to make sure that we meet these objectives. I can show you where they are. And the jobs we are talking about, the last time you were here, you said that the big push only creates menial jobs. When you have civil engineers, quantity surveyors, many people working for the rest of the big push project, you cannot say that the job of a civil engineer is not necessary. So indeed, thousands of jobs are already being created under this. And even after the building, there will be maintenance contract that will be carried on this, Mr. Speaker. So I just want colleagues to understand, since Mr. Honorable Speaker says that he's not against it, this is what you do. And let me tell you, when we were sitting, where you were sitting, we opposed things, but tell me one of the things we opposed that did not come to pass that we were right. We don't oppose just for the sake of opposition, but you are in a haste to oppose for nothing. And that is why you get it wrong. I'm giving you my simple understanding of it. Be very careful what you oppose. The last time I came here, we talked about the Accra-Kumasi expressway. A few of you jumped on it and said you were not in favor of it. At least the proponent of that opposition came back to rationalize his position to say that he is no longer against it. By the way, the Accra-Kumasi expressway is coming on, whether you like it or not. Get ready for it. Mr. Speaker, the 24-hour economy will actually create jobs. It will spur growth in our country. I agree with my colleagues that we should be careful what we are trying to do under this policy. And I agree with them. We shouldn't just rush and do anything. We should take their views also on board. But don't just oppose it and say that we don't know what we are doing. Because, Mr. Speaker, this is one of the smallest bills we've done in this House. But it's quite detailed in terms of the understanding of it. And I encourage my colleagues to support this bill. Let's set up this. This is not going to be just another Kwango that is set up to create jobs for the boys. It will be a catalyst that will spur development in our country. And I want to encourage our colleagues to support this bill. And then when it comes to the consideration stage, we bring all the views we have to make it a rich bill that will stand the test of time. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Give guidance as to how many more we should take. Yes, leadership.
Speaker, I was just trying to negotiate with my colleague on the other side. We were thinking that we can do 3-3 before leadership. Speaker, this is 24 hours.
Including those who have spoken?
No, they have spoken already. I'm talking about outstanding. We have 3 outstanding, they have 3 outstanding, then leadership, respectfully. This is 24-hour economy. It's multi-touted, everybody has...
No, we have the policy debate that will come. The policy was laid and referred.
Speaker, Honorable Abu Jinapo is ready. Samuel Abu Jinapo is ready.
Well, leaders agree on something and then let me implement. Is that the sense of the House? They say three more.
Very
well.
Thank you.
Very well. I will give the floor to the senior man. Honorable Animedu Entry, were you on your feet?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in all honesty, I have gone through the bill and I have sat through and I have read the report. The report of the committee, and Mr. Speaker, the best conclusion I can say about this is much ado about nothing. I don't see the head and tail. When you read the memorandum, Mr. Speaker, it talks about 3 pillars. And the 3 pillars gives an impression that we would have something substantial to live on. But Mr. Speaker, I would say, and I would advise the Attorney General that since he is the government's lawyer, I would advise, as was said by a certain woman in this country, that this, my brother, must be bold and advise that this bill must be withdrawn, be looked into, and if possible, be presented again. Mr. Speaker, I may want to refer you to some portions of this report for us to understand and carry the House along. For instance, page 3, paragraph 2 says, Ghana's current economic structure is characterized by a heavy reliance on imports and a disproportionate expansion of the service sector relative to the productive sectors of agriculture and manufacturing. National GDP data indicate that economic growth has been driven largely by services rather than by direct production. This imbalance is unsustainable, as productive and service sectors must grow in tandem to support a resilient economy. Words are used here, but Mr. Speaker, if you look through the report, I don't see the marriage between the services that Ghana offers and what this bill seeks to achieve. Mr. Speaker, it goes on. The program seeks to reverse this trend by reducing the country's dependence on the export of low-value raw materials and on the importation of expensive finished and intermediate goods. Its objective is to strengthen domestic value addition, enhance competitiveness, and accelerate export development in order to make the national economy more resilient. Mr. Speaker, I would have thought that this is something that would have been left to Business Ministry. I don't see anything new that this policy, this 24-hour economy is bringing. Mr. Speaker, there have been various definitions. Even this afternoon, senior members of this House are attempting to define a 24-hour economy. We haven't understood the 24-hour economy up to date. And Mr. Speaker, if you go through, I'll go further to the object of the bill. It says, quote, the object of the bill is to establish the 24-hour authority to ensure the integrated, sustainable transformation of national systems for economic production, supply chain, marketing, and labor power development, and to provide for related matters. Again, words are used. In this country, Mr. Speaker, we had planting for food and jobs, and we had planting for export. I do not think that the innovative idea that is coming, that has been brought in this House, is different from what the former government, that is the Akufo-Addo and Bawumia government, did so far as this planting for jobs and exports are concerned. Mr. Speaker, I don't see the marriage between the three steps that this bill is proposing. And Mr. Speaker, I honestly would want to advise. Again, I had thought that it was supposed to be a government program. But Mr. Speaker, they go like the way the Akufo-Addo-led government did about one district, one factory. When we spoke about one district, one factory, Mr. Speaker, the idea was that this was supposed to be the private initiative. Again, they turn around to talk about the fact, and this is reported in this report, that it must be private. And Mr. Speaker, if I may point out at page 8, the last paragraph to the next page says, in addition to commercial financing, the program is expected to attract funding from private and institutional sources, including developmental banks, pension funds, multilateral development partners, and private foundations, rather than relying on direct allocations from the national budget. Mr. Speaker, it is not surprising that I didn't see much in the budget. So if the government is planning to use the private sector to support this initiative, Mr. Speaker, I'm afraid that we are heading nowhere than failing the country. Mr. Speaker, I would advise seriously that I don't see the linkage, apart from the fact that we have established the structure that is going to be a chief executive, there's going to be the accounting department, there's going to be deputy executive and other things. Mr. Speaker, I do not, apart from the structure which is normal, I do not see anything that is being proposed in this bill, and that is why I would pray the Attorney General that he should be bold, think about this, advise the government, and withdraw this bill, and if possible, rework on it and resubmit to the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I'll give the floor to Honorable Alamzi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this report is very innovative and I am sure Ghanaians will be very, very happy with this report. Mr. Speaker, the 24-hour economy refers to an economic system where it takes around the clock into consideration, where we have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Mr. Speaker, I want to remind my colleagues from the other side, this was a political promise, and Ghanaians bought into it very well. The concept emerged as a response to the growing demand and to move away from the traditional working hours. Mr. Speaker, in today's world, this reflects the shift of societal patterns. Mr. Today, the consumer behavior that we have is not like before. Mr. Speaker, the consumer has become so demanding that the normal or the traditional hours cannot contain us. Mr. Speaker, 24-hour economy encompasses the various industries, which includes, Mr. Speaker, the retailing industry, the hospitality industry, the healthcare industry, for our people. So I wonder why my colleagues from the other side, they are having a problem with it. It's all about convenience for our people. Mr. Speaker, the driving force is not NDC. Mr. Speaker, I want to remind them, the driving force is not NDC. The drivers of the 24-hour economy today is the rise of online shopping, the flexibility working hours that people demand or the workers demand from us. Mr. Speaker, with 24-hour economy, people can now work, shop, access service any time of the day and even in the night. Mr. Speaker, if you don't want this, what do you want? Mr. Speaker, the bill, that is the 24-hour economy, will bring about, let me first of all state them so that if there is time, I will elaborate on them. It will bring about improvement access to health service. It will bring about increased employment opportunities for our people. Today, let's take the recruitment into consideration. Look at how many people are applying and how many people we are going to employ. 24 our economy is going to make sure that we employ
our economy which will create jobs for the people on account of export promotion. Mr. Speaker, in this country, Ghana, we have a whole institution, the Ghana Export Promotion Authority. We have an existing authority whose sole mandate and responsibility is to promote export. And the question that I believe the Ghanaian people will ask, particularly the youth of our country will ask, is that why create another authority for export promotion when you have a whole authority, the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, dedicated to promoting export. Just because we have the Free Zones Board, we have the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, which is responsible for promoting investment, and that will create jobs. So the first point I'd like to make is that this authority, this proposed authority, complete duplication. Mr. Speaker, it is becoming clear that our friends want to buy time and want to continue to give the youth of our country some false hope that some 24-hour economy is about to be birthed, which will then generate jobs for the youth of our country. Mr. Speaker, I began by saying candor and honesty in politics and governance is absolutely important. You don't need another authority to promote export and thereby create a 24-hour economy and deal with the unemployment situation in our country. We have the Ghana Export Promotion Authority already. Mr. Speaker, let me refer the House again to page 7 of the report. And at page 7, Mr. Speaker, at page 7, when you look at the part that talks about the second pillar, and with your permission I quote, and I quote, Mr. Speaker, the report says the second pillar centers on the development of supply chain and market systems with emphasis on the provision of reliable energy security. Mr. Speaker, the report is telling this House and telling the country that the 24-hour authority is to be established to provide reliable energy security in order for us to have a 24-hour economy and create jobs for the youth of our country. Mr. Speaker, there is a whole ministry, the Ministry of Energy, whose whole mandate is to ensure reliable energy security. So, Mr. Speaker, the question again that the Ghanaian people will ask, that the unemployed youth will ask, do you need an authority in order to be able to establish a reliable energy security, to build a 24-hour economy, and to generate jobs for the unemployed youth of our country? Mr. Speaker, the clear answer is no, because there's Ministry of Energy. Mr. Speaker, let us also, as I say, be fair to the fact and Mr. Speaker, this is serious business being conducted in this House. The fundamental question is, what did President Mahama and the NDC promise the Ghanaian people and the unemployed youth of our country? And with that, Mr. Speaker, let me refer the House to the NDC manifesto, their own manifesto, specifically page 22 of the NDC manifesto. And Mr. Speaker, with your permission, I quote, this is what they promised the country. This is what they promised the unemployed youth of our country. This is what, indeed, Mr. Speaker, they campaigned on. Mr. Speaker, and indeed, they put out multiple adverts on this promise. And Mr. Speaker, the whole campaign of the NDC in the 2024 election was anchored on this promise. And I quote, Mr. Speaker, this is what they told the Ghanaian youth. The 24-hour economy is a deliberate policy intervention by the incoming NDC administration to stimulate economic growth by creating an enabling environment for businesses and public institutions in 3 ways. Mr. Speaker, they go further to indicate that DVLA will operate 24 hours. Customs will operate 24 hours. Ports and harbors will operate 24 hours. Passport office will operate 24 hours. And so if DVLA was operating 24 hours today, it will mean that the unemployed Ghanaian youth can work in 3 shifts at DVLA, 8-hour shift. They can do that today, Mr. Speaker. With the greatest of respect, I want to submit that you do not need an authority to fulfill your promise of ensuring that DVLA, customs, ports and harbors, passport office, and all these public institutions which were listed in their own manifesto operate 24 hours of 3 shifts of 8 hourly. Tell us that they need $400 million United States dollars to operate a 24-hour economy. So look at their flagship program. They dedicated 7% of the $400 million. They've even not been able to fulfill the 7% that they committed, the 7% of the $400 million United States dollars. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude, Mr. Speaker, by indicating that it's taking them 1 whole year to put together a policy document. Mr. Speaker, and indeed, when they themselves committed 7% of the $400 million required to operationalize a 24-hour economy, even the 7%, they've not fulfilled it. Mr. Speaker, I want to 3 deputy CEOs, corporate affairs manager, this person, the people President Mahama has still not found jobs for, the men he hasn't found jobs for, he would then find jobs for them, buy a few land cruisers for them, give them salaries, give them allowances. This authority will not affect the suffering unemployed youth. It will not affect the unemployed youth in Bolagatanga, to Keta, to across the length and breadth of our country. It will not. That's what I want to conclude by submitting. And I do so forcefully. That 11 months today that has 3 people doing their job is the office of the Speaker of Parliament.
Why are you trying to speak for 24 hours?
Mr. Speaker, you should only your job, that is 133. It's the only job that is 133. The office, the job of Speaker of Parliament is the job where you have Right Honorable Abin Babin do 1 shift, and you yourself, Mr. Speaker, Right Honorable First Deputy Speaker, do the 2nd shift, and the 2nd Deputy Speaker does the 3rd shift. The only job in Ghana that is 133 is the job of the Speaker of Parliament. But in any event, that is not 24 hours, and that is not 8-hourly shift. You don't do 8-hourly shift, Mr. Speaker. This is another gimmickry. This is another deception. This is just to buy time. This is just to give false hope to the unemployed youth. You promise them employment, you promise them 24-hour economy, you promise them 133, 11 miles down the road, you have failed to deliver. Ghanaians are tired of talk. They want action. Implement it, and implement it now. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Zuera, you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as we consider the report of the 24-hour Economy Authority, Mr. Speaker, I am very, very, very dumbfounded that my colleagues on the other side are trying to suggest that we should not have an authority for the 24-hour economy. Mr. Speaker, we were all in this chamber in the 8th Parliament. Our friends on the other side touted the senior high school free SHS. And for 4 years, we sat here. In fact, Mr. Speaker, one day they made us sit here. And they said the bill was on its way. We should wait. It was coming. Mr. Speaker, we sat here from Anopa to Anajo. From the Safe to the Dere. Halidere, the bill never came. Up to today, these people. This is what they did with the free senior high school. Come back and sit down. Mr. Speaker, and I am very surprised that my learned brother who is running away from the chamber made reference to the free senior high school and suggesting that within 3 months, the MPP government had implemented it. Mr. Speaker, you and I know the story of the Free Senior High School very well. Look, it was chaotic, strikes, no food, gari and palm oil. We saw it all. And this is what happens when you implement a program without a policy, without thinking through it. Mr. Speaker, running a country, fashioning out policy and programs to run a country is not a 3-month business. And they should not be proud of that record. Mr. Speaker, since the NDC government came into power, 7 January 2025, have you heard of a single strike from any senior high school complaining about no feeding? Have we heard about any strike actions, any demonstrations, school children complaining that they haven't been fed? This is what you get when you provide good governance. This is what you get when you provide governance that invests time in fashioning out policies that will have enduring practicality, not just coming to do propaganda and sacrificing the future of our children. Mr. Speaker, export promotion and export development are two distinct things. They are never the same. And that is why the 24-hour economy says it is productivity, competitiveness, and inclusive growth. And if you read the preface to the 24-hour economy, and His Excellency President Mahama said, we are going to consume what we produce. And when we export with value. We are cutting out the export of raw materials. Mr. Speaker, this week, today, this morning, I woke up coming to work and I felt proud as a Ghanaian. My only regret, Mr. Speaker, was that I didn't see the news item before I left home. I would have come here in my fugu. His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama has given expression to the productivity and export of finished Ghanaian products by arriving in Zambia in his beautiful Ghanaian food. Mr. Speaker, to imagine that Zambians decide that based on that, they are going to wear our fugu. That is export of developed products, export of finished products, 24-hour economy markets. Imagine each market has a processing or a fugu developing plant. The number of fugu that we will produce and export to Zambia and other places in the world. This is what we mean when we talk about the 24-hour economy. We are not talking about export promotion. We are talking about export development. We will develop the products, we will develop what we have and export it so that we gain value on our produce. Mr. Speaker, I heard my brother questioning the 24-hour economy shift program. He is not aware. Maybe he should have asked me. He is not aware that the Minister of Transport and the DVLA are building DVLA offices in every district in this country, including my own good Salaga South. And those officers are going to employ the youth and the Ghanaians who are looking for jobs. And if at the end of the day, we employ them and they require 24-hour shift service, 8-hour shift service, that is exactly what we will provide. We never will run away from that campaign promise. Mr. Speaker, today, I'm having to work in my municipal hospital and I'm asking for quarry dust from the Upper East region. And I'm told that the dust has to travel throughout the night, because when they travel during the day, because of the heat, the weather, it affects the tires. That is what 24 hours means. That enough security will be provided so that our trucks, goods and services can be conveyed 24 hours across the country safely. Mr. Speaker, at Salaga, in a community in my constituency called Bunkwa, we produce the best yam in the country. Fortunately, the road minister is here. In the budget, we were told that 1,000 kilometers of roads are going to build to farming areas and communities. So that goods, farm produce will be moved to the market centers. So if a 24-hour economy exists in Salaga, and we bring all the yam there, and all the importers come to Salaga and buy the yam around the clock, Mr. Speaker, that's vibrant economy for the people of Salaga. You know, so if anyone sits here in this house and tries to suggest that we should not have an authority because some other authorities already exist, to what extent did those authorities provide service to affect the local people in this country? This is a policy that is drilling down to the people of this country. It's not going to be a headquarters sitting in Accra and people don't know what is happening. Every district, 24-hour economy will be represented in every district. Mr. Speaker, I don't know that there's an export promotion office in Salaga. No. I don't know about that. But I know as we speak, and I've seen the prototype of the 24-hour market. Hospitals, fire stations, police stations, everything is in there. Pharmacies, clinics, to provide service to the good people of this country around the clock. And that is what sensitive leaders do. Leaders who think about the people. Yes. President Mahama had the option yesterday to arrive in Zambia in a Louis Vuitton suit. He can afford it. He wore the fugu from Daboya. He wore the fugu from Daboya. And I know when he's coming back in promotion. And we thank His Excellency President Mahama for showing the way. Yes. By the grace of God, we will all continue to wear our Ghanaian made because we will be producing it here. We will consume what we produce. And so our factories will work 24 hours. Yes. Our security services will work 24 hours. Our hospitals will work 24 hours. And our markets will work. We salute all our market women in this country. They should look forward to the 24-hour economy market. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Jerry Ahmed, will you be yielding the leadership to somebody behind you?
Even the list I shared with you, we had agreed here that it was going to be Kabiru, then Honorable Kojo Ponkuma.
We only agreed on the number.
Yes, and it was supposed to be 3-3 and 1 at leadership.
The list that you gave me has Jinapo, Kabiru, and leadership.
Speaker,
but in practice, when the most senior is on his feet, my hands are tied. Yes?
Mr. Speaker, arrangement you had. Mr. Speaker, this is a very important matter we are discussing. Honorable Kojo Opon Nkrumah is the ranking on the economy. Dr. Kabiru, when he was making the list, as you see, you could see that our senior colleague, Honorable Anyimedu, was not included, but we agreed that it was supposed to be 3. And leadership, and like your own wisdom concluded, he's senior on his feet. So what I'm saying that, Mr. Speaker,
but that doesn't change the number 33.
Mr. Speaker, we have Dr. Kabiru on the list, and Kojo Opon Nkrumah, who is the
Honorable, I just asked a simple question. On this note, would the leadership yield to Dr. Kabiru?
No, Mr. Speaker, Dr. Kabiru will speak. And
leadership of the minority, you have the floor. Leadership of the minority, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to contribute to this report that has been laid before the House. I first want to lay a proviso before I discuss about 4 issues from this side of the House. First, Mr. Speaker, is the fact that this bill that was brought is authorized on the 24-hour economy policy. Mr. Speaker, at the time this bill was brought to this House, the policy document was not before this House. In fact, it was yesterday, on the 4th of January 2026, that the policy document itself was brought. On the 4th of February, I beg your pardon, 2026, that the policy document was brought. So, Mr. Speaker, Parliament has considered this bill without the benefit of the policy or the foundation. Mr. Speaker, today we will cooperate and work with our colleagues, and we mentioned to them that we are not opposed to this bill. But we would like to implore them that going forward, the remaining policy documents must come to this House before the bills come, so that the consideration is done in tandem. Mr. Speaker, let me deal with the 4 substantive issues that we want to raise on this side of the House. First is the fact that we are of the view, respectfully, that a 24-hour economy authority is totally unnecessary for the purposes of delivering a 24-hour economy. And we say this with great respect. We don't mean this in a disrespectful way. Mr. Speaker, 6 of the biggest cities that operate 24-hour economies, New York, Tokyo, London, Bangkok, Dubai, Berlin, none of them started off with a 24-hour economy authority. In fact, it's only London that has a commission years after the fact to attempt to support the functioning of a 24-hour economy. What this bill does, contrary to what it advertises to the youth in this country, that the government promised a 24-hour economy and they've brought the law for the 24-hour economy. What this bill actually does is that it sets up a bureaucracy, an authority with a chief executive, an internal auditor, hundreds of staff, board. They're going to ask for a budget and spend. But with the greatest of respect, this authority does not deliver a 24-hour economy in any way. If anybody is under the illusion that what the government has done is to bring a bill that will give life to the 24-hour economy, we would like to serve notice, and notice is hereby served. This bill does not deliver a 24-hour economy. It only sets up an authority, a new bureaucracy, which will not deliver a 24-hour economy. Mr. Speaker, if it is about the accelerated export development, that has been mentioned by my colleagues, there's already GEPA, fully funded, working, opening trade houses in other parts of the world. this is not the body that will accelerate export development. In fact, this ends up being a duplication. We don't want to say it's just going to create jobs for the boys, for those who have not been appointed in government so far. We will say that. But this is just a duplication. If it's about export, accelerated export development, it's just a duplication. It is neither going to create a 24-hour economy nor accelerate exports. Now, Mr. Speaker, some of the earlier colleagues on the other side claimed that they were shocked that we were suggesting we haven't seen what they promised reflected in this bill. And we are shocked that they are shocked. Because, Mr. Speaker, when they advertised the 24-hour economy, they had a very clear, unambiguous definition for the millions of Ghanaian youth to hear. They said they were going to introduce a system that will allow people to work around the clock. 133. We remember the launch of your manifesto when His Excellency the President, then candidate, had the clock behind him. 133. One job, 3 staff, 3 shifts. Mr. Speaker, we have read this bill from clause 1 to clause 28. There is no mention whatsoever from clause 1 to 28. There is no mention of an around-the-clock working cycle. There is no mention of it here. If there's any Ghanaian youth out there who labors under the apprehension that what the government has brought is about 24-hour working cycle, please read it. It's not in it. Honorable Adongo attempted to give us a variation that 24-hour could mean 133 or 122 or something. Whichever way you keep it, Mr. Speaker, it is not in this bill. So again, the claim that this bill is going to enable people work around the clock, increase productivity and create more jobs, this bill does not respond to that. It's a fallacy. Mr. Speaker, now let me go to the issue of agencies. In their manifesto, they actually listed agencies that they were going to have work for 24 hours, DVLA, customs, etc., as has been mentioned. None of these agencies is mentioned in this. Not one. Not one. AG. Not one of these agencies is mentioned in this. But if indeed this bill is to compel government agencies to work around the clock, you should be listing them here. None of it is here. In fact, Mr. Speaker, if you read the functions of the authority that they have listed, please permit me to read the functions. Section 3. Promote the optimization of volume, variety, and quality of products produced in the country for domestic consumption and export. Is that 24-hour economy? Promote the development of micro, small, and medium-scale enterprise sector. Is that 24-hour economy? Promote the role of micro, small, and medium-scale enterprise. MBSSI was doing that. Is that 24-hour economy? The closest you will find is in subclause K, and it says, propose the incentive regime applicable to companies operating in the 24-hour economy value chain, including fiscal and monetary incentives. What is the Finance Ministry doing? What is the Trade Ministry doing? So, Mr. Speaker, this authority they want to create, with the greatest of respect, is totally unnecessary if the purpose is to enable the economy function for 24 hours and allow people to work around the clock. The 133 they spoke about is nowhere here. The agencies they've mentioned politically on platforms is nowhere here in this bill. Mr. Speaker, the minister responsible for roads said thousands of jobs have already been created under the 24-hour economy. He said that a few minutes here ago. But out of respect for the rules, we did not want to rise up and challenge him. We would have been pleased if he had given us examples of those thousands of jobs that have been created under the 24-hour economy already. This is a house of records. How can you say that today there are thousands of jobs that have already been created under the 24-hour economy? Then why are your youth complaining that no jobs have been created? Thousands of jobs have already been created. Mr. Speaker, that's a palpable untruth. He went ahead to say that there are already contractors that are working 24 hours in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, I would have been happy if you had named one. We would have gone there at 2 a.m. with our cameras to find out if he's really working 24 hours around the clock. Let's not do this. Let's not do this. Mr. Speaker, the real reason for which they are promulgating this authority, and we have come to that view, is just to buy time. From January 2025 till February 2026, the 24-hour economy has become a hoax. And they know very well that it is not going to bear fruit. So what they are doing is creating an impression in the minds of Ghanaian youth that we are now creating an authority. The authority is working. They are now starting. It is coming. It is not coming anywhere. What they have put in this document will not create a 24-hour economy. My last 2 points, Mr. Speaker. I was shocked that after all the criticism of the 1D, 1F policy, that policy was not coherent because it was relying on the private sector. I was shocked to read in paragraph 4, page 2 of the memo to this bill. Mr. Speaker, line 8 says, furthermore, the program is delivered by the direct entrepreneurial efforts of organized private citizens acting through their as well as community-based organizations, acting through their collectives, cooperatives, companies, and other industry associations, as well as community-based organizations, rather than the public servants. Mr. Speaker, what they are actually saying is that if you are hoping that the public sector is what will deliver 24-hour economy, forget. They are waiting for the private sector. Because the claim was that they were going to ensure that public organizations were working 24 hours. Now the bill comes before us and you say you are waiting for the private sector. This is disappointing news to the millions of youth who believed the promises that you made. Mr. Speaker, now we come to the conclusion that if this is what it is all about, then the 1B, 1F program was a whole lot better than this 24-hour economy bill which they have brought before us. Mr. Speaker, the NDPC of the Republic of Ghana, not me, has reported that at least 150 functioning factories were left at the end of 2024. Not me, the NDPC report. It's in the annual progress report of the NDPC. You may want to quarrel with them, not me. They didn't require an authority to do this. The same ministries that were functioning were the ones providing the incentives. If all that we are going to do is to create this bureaucracy, pay all these monies, and now wait for the private sector to come, then, Mr. Speaker, we are doing ourselves a big disservice. It is their policy. They have decided this is how they want to implement it. We will not be opposed to it. We will help them to fine-tune the bill. But, Mr. Speaker, we caution them in good faith that if this is what they hope will deliver a 24-hour economy, this will not. They still have time to reconsider and come up with something that can deliver. The last time we had a conversation, and I'll conclude bill, regulator and operator, they will be in trouble. Mr. Speaker, in we say Fofia and Twata, we've seen the trouble that has come, and now we are waiting to take the motion for the parliamentary inquiry. Our prayer is that this doesn't become another such incident where they will refuse to listen, only for us a few months down the line to find ourselves in a place where we've passed the bill, we've created the authority, people have been paid, they've bought cars, and no 24-hour economy has been created. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, we will support their report and we will help them to pass their bill, but we pray that they help to fine-tune it so that it delivers what they promised. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Yes, majority leadership. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
We'll apply for you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think a lot has been said about the policy to create a 24-hour economy in our country. Mr. Speaker, I think in the arguments of both sides of the House, we can at least agree on a number of things. The first is that our economy needs major transformation. That, I think, there is agreement. We are confronted with a crisis of unemployment, especially among our youth. That, I think, there's also some consensus. And that we must do something radical to give hope to the youth, to give hope to the population, and to enable the private sector to accomplish the hope that has been created. Mr. Speaker, the 24-hour economy and the authority that is being established to implement it is not the vehicle that will create a 24-hour economy. It is a coordinating secretariat that will coordinate the activities of all the other sectors who, when they function and function properly, would deliver a very productive sector and will deliver employment. That is the whole idea. That is why it says that the whole 24-hour economy is founded on 3 pillars. One is production systems development transformation. Production systems development transformation. Let's take just this one pillar and try to understand what it means when you say production systems development transformation. Let's take the agricultural sector. The NPP introduced some agricultural policies. What happened? We did not see transformation of the agricultural sector. What accounts for it? We're trying to develop the agricultural sector through peasant farmers, smallholder farmers, without irrigation, without the requisite machinery, without effectively establishing the link between input financing and then also off-taker markets. Now, we looked at it and we decided that you need to transform the entire production system. So, for instance, in the agricultural sector, what has succeeded in most economies in this day is large-scale commercial agriculture. Large-scale commercial agriculture is a well-organized business requiring huge capital investments, huge machinery, highly qualified skilled labor, a lot of technology. So without transforming the production system, then we attempted. What did we see? Fertilizer, a few input supplies and etc., without attempting to transform the entire production system, uprooting the old system. That is why a production system development transformation is crucial. And this, so the secretariat, the authority, what you call the authority, is simply a secretariat, which is in existence already in the office of the president.
There is a secretariat, but the reason why we want to invest with the authority status is because this is a secretariat that is going to superintend and work with ministers and sector ministries. And so you cannot have a simple secretary of a secretariat trying to, superintend over ministers. That's why it is being invested with the authority of an authority. That is the whole idea. So the secretariat exists already. NDC did not wait till today to establish a vehicle for the implementation of the 24-hour economy. The institution exists. We are changing its legal character in order to give it the relevant powers that will be needed for it to be able to achieve its objectives. And the policy document is not just coming to Parliament. The policy document was inaugurated on the 2nd of July 2024. The policy document was inaugurated on the 2nd of July 2025. Mr. Speaker, a policy document must not necessarily come to Parliament. No. Where in this country, in the governance history of this country, has it become compulsory that when a minister develops his policy document, he should bring it to Parliament? But you requested for it, and that is why I took the pains to bring a copy to be laid and then to make copies available to you. But it is out there. You have been copiously making reference to NDPC reports. You've been copiously making references. A lot of the reports that they have been writing are not documents of this Parliament. They are lying there. We all go and buy the documents and we read them. They are in libraries. So when the president goes to inaugurate the policy underpinning the 24-hour economy, as a diligent member of Parliament, the first thing you do is to make sure that you take steps to get your own copy so that you are well informed. So I'm not surprised that I've heard some of the arguments that are being made today, because it's clear that some people did not make time to read the policy document. And that is why I took pains to bring copies and make the copies available to you. Now we will have to focus on the development of supply chain and market systems. Let me say that when you say it is not necessary, indeed, it appears to me that you are even arguing against a position that your own regime advocated. I recall in this house several State of the Nation addresses during which President Akufo-Addo decried what he called the Gettysburg economy, referring to the economy created by Governor Gordon Gettysburg, I think somewhere in 1920, when he was governor, where our economy is fundamentally just an export economy, exporting only raw materials and not finished products. And so he made it one of his major objectives to pursue a program of industrialization. That has been the basis of the one district, one factory policy. So there was an attempt, except that because the attempt did not pay attention to systems, we went and constructed factories to process tomatoes where there were no tomatoes, because we hadn't paid attention to the transformation of the production system of tomatoes. We went and constructed factories to process watermelon where there was no watermelon. Because we hadn't paid attention to the production system transformation. So watermelon was not produced, tomatoes were not produced. So we have all sorts of factories dotted in all the bushes that are not producing anything, because we did not pay attention to the transformation of the production systems and the value chain system. That is why we are establishing the 24-hour economy authority so that it can pay attention to systems. That is production system development transformation, development of supply chain and market systems, and the development of labor. These, when put together, will enable an economy that will operate 24 hours. It will be naive to imagine that on the heels of the very, very, very bad economy that you handed over to us, the day after, this economy will become a 24-hour operating economy. It will be naive to have that imagination that the economy that was overburdened with debt, to the extent that the entire international financial system had written us off, the economy that was burdened with inflation at the rate that you left it, the economy that was burdened with exchange rate at the rate that you left it, the economy that was burdened with interest rate at the rate that you left it, where the private sector could not have access to capital to expand. How was it humanly possible that anybody taking over an economy like that will within a year transform that economy into an economy that is working 24 hours? Mr. Speaker, the fundamentals need to be addressed. It is obvious that in the last 11 months, we have demonstrated capacity. We have brought inflation down to 0 digits. We have reduced interest rates. We have reduced the debt. The debt to GDP has reduced drastically. And Ghana has been given excellent ratings by all the international rating institutions. So this economy is ready to be transformed into a 24-hour economy. And that is why we are now establishing the authority that will implement the 24-hour economy. That is why I urge all of you today to vote so that we will have the second reading, adopt the report, let's go through the consideration stages, and where there are changes to be made, we will make the changes, and we will establish that we still stand by the fact that the gold board, and I don't sit there without addressing